Why is STEM so important? Research tells us that 3 in every 4 new jobs will need a strong understanding or skills in science, technology, engineering and maths. They are all connected. When young people have strong STEM skills, they will be able to engage in the new and evolving world of work. In the Australian curriculum, there are clear and practical links between disciplines. STEM is addressed through the learning areas of science, technologies, and mathematics, with engineering being addressed in design and technologies through a content description at each band which focuses on engineering principles and systems. Supporting the disciplines are the general capabilities of numeracy, information and communications technology, and critical and creative thinking. All of these things work together to enable a genuine STEM learning experience. STEM knowledge, understanding and skills are addressed within learning areas, strengthened when the connections between learning areas are emphasised, and enriched when learning areas combine to find authentic learning opportunities for students in answer to an identified problem or in the creation of a solution. So learning becomes relevant, meaningful and exciting. When students have learning experiences that really mean something, they then become engaged and involved in ways that can make a difference to their potential career pathways. To this end, ACARA coordinated the STEM Connections project in partnership with the Australian Association of Mathematics Teachers. The 13 participating schools were asked to deliver a 10-week project that focused on a problem that was relevant to students, called on an integrated STEM approach, and involved an industry partner. Schools made final presentations of their experiences to other participants at the end of the project. The 5 illustrations of practice were filmed on location at schools and capture interviews with students, teachers and industry partners. They reflect a range of school situations and highlight key features of each project that teachers may find useful when planning their own integrated STEM projects. So we invite you to look closely at the material here. It has been designed to show how STEM can really help students to feel they're connected to the world in which they live and the world that they will be part of creating.
Henley High School is a comprehensive secondary school with years 8 to 12 based in the seaside suburb of Henley Beach on the western side of Adelaide.
We were given the STEM assignment of finding or deciphering a potential biofuel which can in the future overtake fossil fuels. Our group decided that we would use banana peels based on the fact that they are a complete waste product. We did an experiment recently where we burned a series of both biofuels and fossil fuels, and we found that for every 0.88 grams of banana peel, 184.6 joules of energy were released. So banana peels are a viable energy source.
We were after a project which actually looked at the humanist approach to STEM. We found out about producing biofuels from algae, found out that a company named Muradil located in Adelaide here was actually doing that, and David was very supportive in our project. He came out and he spoke to the entire Year 9 cohort and basically put the whole project into a context that the students would understand.
As the prickly pears grow, they grow really fast, and every fortnight or so we harvest the pads of the prickly pear, so the big green part. As that decomposes, it produces about 10 times more methane than cow manure, and it decomposes relatively fast as well. As the methane is produced, that is then collected in the dome and then going into tanks. And then after that, it basically goes through the exact same process as natural gas that people use today in households. The connections between the 3 subjects actually quite surprised me, because we would always be told that there are connections between tech, maths and science. And now having a project that involves all 3 of them, like you have to use them together, it really is an eye-opener, so we can see how they all complement each other.
We had trialled other STEM projects previous to this one where we'd only involved smaller groups, and this time we thought we'd really challenge the group by engaging the whole year level, which included up to 250 students. The timetabling was not too difficult because at Henley High we have a middle school philosophy. A lot of our teachers who were involved in the STEM project were actually the Year 9's teacher for maths, science and for what we call PLP, so they had 490 minutes with those students.
All the three major topics in the STEM assignment, the science, technology and the maths, they were all major parts of it, but for me I found that the science was the major attribute to this assignment, although the technology did come in when we were creating our little bin and our templates and logos and all that. But I think the main part of it was definitely science and the maths for the economic assignment, but I think they linked really well to create the overall assignment.
All our Year 8 students complete a full year of design technology, and this was the catalyst in allowing our current Year 9s then to be able to put all of their skills and underpinning knowledge into practice through this project. Students were instructed on how to use the design cycle, and therefore through the design cycle they were able to find solutions to the problems, and each group had a particular problem. So students were able to use their SketchUp skills to be able to draw their projects, and therefore then give us some outcomes using the 3D printer or the laser cutter.
Some of the difficult things in terms of teaching the students and their learning was really trying to get them to break the mould and get them to come forward with some of their own ideas and just let go of the reins a little bit and let them take control.
I liked the way that the students had ownership over their projects. I guess my frustrations came when they ran into a barrier and then I guess didn't have the skills to be able to work out a way around that. So we spent a lot of time, me working with different groups, trying to work out those issues and try and work out alternative routes. For a science curriculum, it worked really well, and with the design and tech I think it did as well, because they could design their own project and then make that. I think with maths it was a little bit difficult. We did an economics assignment, but I felt like if the topic was a little bit more lean towards a maths perspective as well, then it would have fit, I think, a little bit nicer than what it did.
We're fortunate that the faculty members are very flexible and were able to adapt their teaching to the actual project. We found that staff were willing and able to modify their assessment to incorporate the actual assessment tasks of the project itself rather than what it was that they were doing in class at the particular time.
We invited the parents to come along to our STEM Challenge Expo on the last day of first term. The other part we thought was really important was that we invited our industry and community partners to come in as judges so that they could also see what students were doing.
The university has worked with Henley High School over a number of years, and we have a lot of initiatives available to other high schools across South Australia in sciences, technology, engineering and maths. We have run, for example, with Henley High, the last 4 years, a STEM information evening, and we also run a range of initiatives throughout the year and events introducing young people into those STEM areas. So I think a sustainable platform of ongoing initiatives is really important when industry is working with the schools, not just one-off contact, but that constant contact throughout the year.
I think with STEM it's very different to the way that teachers normally teach, so I think just be willing to give it a go and see where the students take it. The students will take it in a direction, many different directions if you have groups happening, and it's just working with them to try and get them back on track and trying to listen to their ideas but direct it in a way that you'll get the outcomes that you are after.
The feeling of independence was quite empowering, and in usual lessons you would have someone feeding you, spoon feeding you the whole time, and with this we could kind of feel a bit more empowered and that we could have a bit more control over our learning.
It's not like necessarily the smartest people or the people who are the best at science and maths that can come up with the solution. It's the people who want to push the boundaries or test the limits or have more creative thinking.
I'm of the opinion that in reality, science, maths, marketing, the arts isn't really separated, it's intrinsically linked. So to give them an authentic experience where they have to do all of those things, and I think ideally you could incorporate more curricula, in terms of marketing, advertising, things like that, and make it into a real enterprise sort of project. I think there's great opportunity for that, and definitely for students with different skills to learn off each other.